Peace and love, family and friends, naysayers, whomever. My name is Leon Wheeler Jr., and this is Master Making in Motion. And today's brief talk will be about leadership. Jesus said that a prophet isn't respected in his own country, by his own kin, and in his own house. The Quran speaks of if you follow the majority, they will surely lead you astray. In my humble opinion, I definitely believe leadership is definitely what we are suffering from today. Bad leadership is definitely a curse, and it does no one any benefits. It's almost like a punishment, or maybe even a prison sentence. Because if we got the wrong people in control and they are barking out the orders, chaos is definitely for sure to follow. Me, myself, I've studied leadership, and for the most part, I've been a leader all my life. So I do have some idea about it. And I'm a natural. I wasn't taught uh, how to lead. Basically, in my opinion, is basically common sense. One of the rules of thumbs that I use is if I want to apply it in my own life to myself, I most definitely shouldn't put that burden on anyone else. It's real hectic to lead, and definitely needed, definitely needed, and should be demonstrated, and that position upheld by qualified individuals. Without a doubt, if you go to school and you learn proper techniques, learn leadership skills, that would definitely enhance your ability. But again, some of us are just born leaders. But anything that one man has the ability to uh, perfect, or maybe a natural at, the next man can do. So there's nothing under God's green earth, on God's green earth, that cannot be accomplished, duplicated, perfected. But again, leadership is something that, in my opinion, we suffer from. That's poor leadership, and uh, and that's because of the way the mindset of the masses. I've witnessed at times you people are given the position of leadership for reasons that does not suggest they're leaders. In some traditions, if you speak better than individuals, that'll qualify you. Your age can qualify you. You being born into a position can qualify you. These are things that doesn't necessarily entail what a leader is and what a leader should be. And then we also have individuals with those skills that may be skilled at that particular function, but begin to become polluted. You know, they said absolute power uh, corrupts absolutely all the time. That's a saying that I can recall hearing, and it may serve some reality. But genuine leadership, an individual who truly care for the people, I think, in my opinion, would do the best. And it still don't mean he's not going to have any flaws, because as we evolve and elevate, times presents different skills, and you have to always. That's the importance of being a student, because you're willing to learn, and when you're willing to learn, you can evolve with the time. A lot of us, unfortunately, are stuck in time or traditions. From a spiritual standpoint, myself, one of the things that I use as a rule of thumb is I criticize and scrutinize everything. And if something that I believe in, or something that I'm interested in, if it cannot sustain criticism and scrutiny, I mean, it can't hold. it just can't hold. You know what I'm saying? And then we do have the old wise tales and edits and things of that nature. What I just made mention of, the verse from the Bible and the Quran, uh, those are wise, possibly proverbs that to me hold some leverage, some weight, because I know for a fact that most leaders, unfortunately, in the black community, as we tend to hate on one another and and bring down those in power. Those we look for reasons to criticize them, not to enhance a situation, but to possibly bring down. And a lot of our leaders, even in the Bible, when you speak about Jesus, he was crucified, you know, as a leader, as holy individuals that was said to be trying to liberate the people, and they crucified him, according to legends, according to the teachings. They crucified him, and then after they killed him and crucified him, he became a phenomenal, a worldwide name. However, without a doubt, the spread of the tradition, the spread of the belief system, was somewhat cruel, how they spread it, across the globe. But that's another conversation. But the conversation here is to focus on the leadership and what he said about not being respected. And that's the problem we have in our culture. We don't respect leadership. We don't respect individuals that's been assigned particular positions in life. That's what I say a master is. A master has been given a mission, not a title. He's living out a mission, and that mission may be, for myself, it would be representing or being a manifestation of love, and learning to master myself and my emotions. Again, and with my small leadership skills, I think that I'm qualified to make certain calls within at least my household, well, at least my family, because again, I've been a leader, and my leadership at that particular time may have not been about the most wholesome scenario, but even in that small capacity, I created other leaders. Almost every individual that was under my tutelage are now self made men, more or less. I don't know if I want to say self-made men, but they're self-critical thinkers for the most part. And that doesn't mean that they challenge the stuff in a mannerism that I do, but they were critical enough to take what I gave them and put it to use and form it to fit their particular skill setting that was beneficial to themselves. So I've created leaders, quite a few, through my teachings, through my tutelage. So they learned from me and they became leaders. And maybe some of them may even perceive themselves to be greater leaders. And rightfully so, that's what a real leader wants. He wants to create leaders, not necessarily have, well, not at all. It's not about who has the most followers, it's who creates the most leaders. And that's what good leadership is about. Unfortunately, the leaderships that we find ourselves with are more, I guess, tyrants, and they want to hold on to their positions, and they want to make sure. That's why you find a lot of politicians, way over age, that won't pass the baton, that won't allow someone else to step up. They almost die in office. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're looking at the President Biden, how old he was, and not to suggest that Trump isn't, they're up in age, but I'm saying you get to a point that you're moving around almost as if you're senile, and you don't want to let go of that, that baton. You just want to hold on to it, and that's not good leadership, you know. And I'm not here to criticize uh, no leadership exactly on the outside, but I want to challenge you all to be critical thinkers and to look at what the leadership that you follow, what has it brought to the table? How has it liberated you? How has it freed you? How have it made you a leader? Do you consider yourself to be a leader? And if you do think you have leadership qualities or skills, what have you done with them? How many leaders have you brought to fruition? How many people have you motivated to become leaders? So that's a good way to measure whether or not you are a leader or whether or not you have qualifications as a leader. You may just be a tyrant, a turf boss. You may just be some egomaniac person that just, like barking orders. And that's not what leadership is about. Leadership is about motivating the masses to find some form of liberation, in my opinion, to be free thinkers. So that's what the channel was about. The channel was about motivating us to become masters in the making, masters in motion, you know, doing what it takes to liberate, to uplift, and motivate and liberate again our uh, community. You start with yourself. You need to be motivated and liberated and charged up, and that way you can give that blessing to someone that's coming behind you, preferably your children. Preferably your children first and foremost. So if you can organize a positive structure in your family, in your household, and I'm saying we're leaders that's doing things to make some grand strides in the world. I'm not talking about just again to bark orders over someone. I'm talking about to motivate individuals to do and be their greatest individuals, to be the greatest individuals that they can fathom in their own imagination. So again, I know for a fact that I have skills, and I've been under dealing with individuals when I was incarcerated, going to service with the Sunni Muslim brothers. And to me, there was a lot of leaders that had positions based on qualifications that did not suggest that they should be leaders. So a lot of the leaders that I saw that I really didn't figure like I can really look to them as a leader. But I followed protocol because, I was still in search of for my spiritual nourishment. But there's a lot of individuals that in the Orthodox arena in prison that wasn't qualified to lead. And he may have been given that position because he had proper pronunciation in speaking, or he spoke better Arabic, or he memorized more Arabic, or he knew more Arabic than the fellow other brothers in there. Or he was of age, he was the oldest. So these are qualifications that does not suggest that you should be leading anyone just because you have the best, they call it tashweed. That's not a quality. For me, it was never a quality. However, I didn't want to rock the boat. And, I was new in the dean, and those individuals, had put forth an effort to learn what they learned, and they were qualified to teach probably Arabic or to do something in that particular field, but that didn't qualify him to be a leader, at least not a leader over me. But I followed suit. And I'm gonna tell you something else that took place in the penitentiary that bothered me, that I was struggling with, and again, it's connected to leadership. I was as I was evolving it into the religion and actually evolving it to my own personal understanding of spirituality through studying Sufism and other things, Siddha yoga, things of that nature. I was studying spirituality, and I was realizing that a lot of the a lot of the teachings that were being demonstrated across the podium from 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 brothers that was in the dean with me was the same rhetoric, and I hate to call it rhetoric, but the same. They was saying the same thing over and over again, and they was changing a little here and there, because every time you come across the podium, you might come, but you saying the same thing, and a lot of it was to me, got to a point that it was attacking what other people were doing, and I had grew out of that to an extent, and I was like, well, if I think our job is to just be the example we want to see. Instead of worrying about what other people is doing in the other religions, maybe we should just be the example. So let's focus on being the best that we can be. So this was what I was pushing forth with the brothers. I was like, well, we need to be the example. And that is good leadership, being the example of what you say you believe in. And Islam is said to be a religion of peace. So first and foremost, we want to be that which represents peace. We want it to be, the idealistic a viewpoint of what peace looked like, in prosperity. So I was pushing for that, but again, it was. I didn't see the progress that I was hoping for. So I was asking that maybe I can cross the podium, and I wasn't much of a speaker. I'm more of a leader from behind the scene. I know how to do what I need to do, but I didn't want to cross the podium so much because, again, when you, I didn't say that one of the real ills, why I did say, well, Jesus, they end up crucifying him. I knew that it was a great possibility that I would be disliked if I didn't stick with the traditional way of teaching or expressing my belief system. It was like I had to be a robot to be liked in a sense. If you go too far outside that realm, you would be disliked. So I was trying to I was crossing the podium and speaking about being the best that we can be and striving to become a better speaker in the process. And at a point, I got kind of tired. I was kind of tired of, and I didn't see any progress. So I wrote the fellowship that I was communicating with. I reached out because that's what I always do. I would always try to seek information from individuals who I consider to be more qualified than myself. And this Sufi organization was from the founder, or the sheikh was named Bawa Muhajiddin. So I ended up finding out how to contact him, and I was telling him, "Hey, look, I'm here, incarcerated, and I'm with the brothers, and this is what I'm hoping to bring to the table. Maybe I can motivate the brothers, and we can become more positive and become more spiritual and focus on, developing a stronger community." And being the better examples in the facility we was in at the time. I'm not sure what facility. I think I was at Ryan Road. Yeah. So when I wrote them and I explained to them what was happening, and I was asking their opinion on how I can possibly motivate my brothers, and they gave me a piece of information that I'll never forget, and I'm gonna share it with you. And I can't. I'm paraphrasing. I'm not saying exactly what they told me and exactly how they told me, but they told me that in every relationship, in any community that an individual may find himself in, or any organization, or just life in general, uh, you always got three options that's available to you. These three options are always available, and within those three options, you can pretty much lay a foundation for yourself and how you're going to operate within the community or what have you. So they said what you can do is either you can lead the community, you can let the community lead you, or you can leave the community. These are the three options. You can lead, you can let the community lead you, or you can leave the community. Then they expressed to me that the first one, if you're bringing something new to the equation, would be the most difficult. Now, if you lead and you just follow suit, you could be fine. But if you rock the boat, there's going to be a problem. He said, if you lead the community and you bring something new to the equation, to the table, the followers are going to develop some dislike towards you, some hatred, more or less. And they're going to take what you're doing out of love, what you're bringing to the table out of love. They're going to take that and they're going to turn it into a weapon, possibly like a brick or something. And what you give out of love, they're going to take it and hurtle it back at you to do you harm with the ear. So they say one thing for certain, trying to change the scenario with the people, you definitely are at a great possibility to be uh, attacked, possibly even killed. He said that's what happened to a lot of our leaders in the world, heroes and sheroes, that whenever you take leadership, a leadership role, and you try to, and you're working towards changing it and making it better, and you change from the to traditional norms, you become a problem. So that's what's going to possibly take place. You're going to give with love, and their return is going to be ill, hatred, malice, possibly violence. He said, or you can let them lead you. Now, that's going to be a problem for you too if you're on this pursuit to become better and evolve, and you want to, because you're going to have to just, you have to do away with your inspiration and just allow what has been taking place to just continuously to evolve, to exist. And that can be critical to your spirit too. But you can do that. Or if you're just okay with the way it is, and you could just go in fellowship and just do that and just leave. But you're not going to grow there because it's not in that particular setting because they're not evolving. They're not. They're just sticking to the traditional norms, doing the same thing over and over and over again. And that's not healthy for a spirit that's yearning to uh, become greater than it is trying to evolve and learn more and be more. That's not really healthy for that type of a spirit. It's that your last option is to leave, and it's probably in some instances could be the best option. Unfortunately, still because of the way extreme individuals are, and we live in an extremist world. Unfortunately, you still may be disliked, but they probably can get over it that way because you're not trying to change them. So they can let you go. So long you're not trying to change them, they can possibly get to a point and just, let you go on about your business. So that was my options. I can either lead, let them lead me, or I can leave. And after quite a few years there, almost at least 15 years, I decided to leave. And again, I still received some flack because some of the brothers was disappointed in me and for not coming to service and that. But poor leadership, I got to a point that I felt that I was stagnated and I wasn't growing. So and I needed to go because I needed to grow. I was reading stuff and my spirit was, I was study evolving and I was feeling, like I needed to go. And that's what I did when I left. And I ended up finding something that really nourished my spirit even more. A book that I ran across from a strange way that it came to me. And the book is called Conversation with God. And the book, it inspired me tremendously. And I live by a lot of the principles that I got out of that book. But me as a student, I go out my way to take the best out of everything that I've come across. I'm not a religious individual. I don't particularly study the Bible or the Quran, but I have studied them in depth at one point. I mean, I'm not a photographic memory, but I've read them, the Quran probably, man, numerous of times, in the Bible at least 2 or 3 times. But I haven't memorized them. But there were certain scriptures that fit that that helped to me. Uh, and I'm an individual, like I say, I want to put everything to the test. So I take the best out of everything. To me, that scripture that I just quoted from about Jesus, to me, that was profound. And even Islam, those are profound scripts. And there's a lot more, but I'm not a follower of either one in totality. But both has helped me evolve into who I am, and I'm grateful. My years as a Christian was inspiring and inspirational. It was like, you know, my first indoctrination. Wow, into religion, and then another. I take it a little farther with Islam, and there are some profound individuals that's in those groups that have knowledge that I would definitely listen to, and partake in, and I can digest whatever, I take in what they got, because I mean, but I only take in what's going to help me, what's going to make me a better individual, what I think is going to motivate me to strive to be better. That's how I operate, and that's what I suggested we all do. The day of following traditional teachings, it doesn't work, and it hasn't worked. You know, I may not can tell you exactly what do work, but I definitely could tell you what don't work, what hasn't worked. I've studied the religions I just mentioned, and I haven't seen n- nothing that has totally motivated me. Now, individually, I've seen individuals that's benefited, and I'm still from afar from their religion. And when I'm speaking right now, I'm primarily speaking Black people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I see a lot of different nationalities benefit from Christianity, so to speak, or Catholicism, or even Christianity. That is Christianity. When I say, I'm talking about probably some of the other denominations, which is probably within thousands from Christianity. It's at least over probably 1,000 denominations in Christianity, and Islam too. It probably have at least pretty close to over 500, 400 to 500 or something like that. But there's individuals that benefit from. But those religions aren't the Black man's religion. I mean, that's not the religion that our forefathers, that I believe through all my studies, that we follow. So I don't see the benefit for the masses in neither religion, honestly. Do I see individuals that may be Black, that may be of our persuasion, that benefit from it? Without a doubt. But uh, globally, across the, as far as our community is concerned, I haven't seen it. I haven't seen it, and I am definitely disappointed that we're still doing the same exact thing and expecting some different results. So, leadership is something that I suggest that we all study some form of it. We're gonna talk about it on this channel from time to time. I'm going to, because everything definitely repeats itself, and there's different ways to address issues, and and it's needed because there's different ways to approach everything. It's needed. So we're going to talk about it. Like I say, I'm not a Bible thumper. In my episode, "Who is God?" I said I was God. And I meant that. Again, not the God that created the earth, uh, the sun, the skies, and all of that, but I mean the God that can create, a man God, you know, on earth. And I'm going to talk about that too because, uh, you know, there's other aspects to be looked into about who is God, you know, and possibly to talk about, well, without a doubt, to talk about the energy that is beyond or that's outside of man that exists. And that's the God that you are, uh, most of us look to uh, as a supreme being. And I want to address that. I have to. Uh, and again, it may even sound, by me saying what I'm saying now, it may sound like a contradiction, but it really it's not. When I speak about Jesus, and you know, that's not a contradiction. It's just different aspects of the conversation. But again, I am God, and you are too. And I want to express to you in another episode, I don't know, maybe many episodes, about who is God, because it's not it's not that easy to wrap up in one conversation. It's just not. And then two, I'm study evolving all the time too. So and I'm challenging, but everything that I'm doing is just for me to grow and be better. So I don't have a problem saying something that might sound controversial to you, but if it's beneficial to me, I mean, but if you think about it, most of the stuff that religion teach is controversial in itself. The only difference is you all accept it as your religion, so you can embrace it. When you start talking about serpents in the Garden of Eden, talking to the man and the woman about partaking in the fruit in the garden. We said a serpent. You know that's splitting seas, rivers, and seas down the middle, raising dead people that was physically and mentally and all dead, and raising them up. You know what I'm saying? I mean, angels coming down. I mean, it's a lot of stuff that you accept and as your truth. So me saying what I'm saying, I mean, it's going to be way more founded in reality for you to digest. But again, it may sound like a contradiction, but it's not. So leadership is what we're demonstrating, what we're talking about, and striving to be the best leaders that we can be. And a good leader is someone who, again, help other individuals become leaders. Not the person with the most followers, but the one who help motivate the most leaders, creates the most leaders, who help individuals become leaders. That is the leader that you want to follow, not the one who wants to keep you as a sheep. You don't want to keep you, as underneath him to or her. So, if I said anything that you feel can help you or help anyone, I ask that you like it and share it with them. And I ask that you subscribe to my channel because without you, the channel won't grow. So I need your support and your help with that. And I got a lot of game to share. And when I say game, it's just the lingo, and the game is just life. It's God doing his or her thing and allowing me to share it with you as me, to you as you. So, again, like, share, and subscribe to the channel. B.